guys. Different location. This was like the weirdest live. It was like I posted and then it told me that I needed to get back on the spaceship because like there was some error, but it actually posted the live, so I don't know, it was weird.
Are you talking to me?
No,
Who are you talking to?
I'm on a live.
Oh. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I didn't tell you. Hi, Kristen. But yeah, I thought we could get on here and chat. There's, 5 parts to an update. There's stuff to chat about, and I need something happy in my day because my day just did not go how I thought it was going to go at all. Hi, Allison. So, yeah, I thought we could get on here and chat, and that usually brightens my day. So I thought we could see who all we could get on here and see if anybody wanted to chat about all the things that are finally out there. So, yeah, it's finally out there. Obviously, we haven't seen the Allies side, but or Xander's side, but obviously they know, they had figured out in the end of EJ and Elisa's book that things were not as they seemed, but they all were, they were lied to, and then yeah, they were on the outside of that magical barrier, but ended up being able to get in. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But yeah, like I said, a lot happened to Melanie in that period of time. So, that was quite a bit. Quite a bit. I'm so waiting for the shitstorm coming. Sometimes makes me cry. I think it's gonna be very emotional for a lot of people. Because, they're they were all trying to do what they thought was right. Obviously Melanie is gonna have serious feelings about it. She's gonna be mad at herself. She's gonna be mad at a lot of people. Like just a lot of people. And obviously she's got a pretty good list of names going of people involved with the ring. Hi Jamie. And so she's kind of already got a list of names of people that she knows are kind of involved with this. So yeah. And I mean she's mad at her old pack, she's mad at Peter Kyle, she's mad at her family, she's mad at all of them. So it's a lot of anger for her. Hi Monica. Wine for the next update. See, with the next update, we get a little bit of Dylan, and he does have some really funny lines coming up. So it's like heavy, but we have Dylan, so I'm always gonna say you should just drink wine. I think you needed like a cocktail for the last one. Hi Kimbers. Hi Lisa. Hi Elena. Hi Jamie. Hi Monica. Rum. The last one you definitely needed a cocktail for of some kind. It was a lot. There was a lot going on with that. We did not use the fireplace, but it is there. It is there. Dylan, what is it? And hi Mandy. Hi Andrea. Hi Kristen. Dylan wasn't in the latest update, right? Right. He was going to be, and then it got really long, which I knew it was going to, and then I decided that Dylan's side, like, I feel like it makes more sense for Dylan's lines to be in Alexander's side because he's known him his whole life. Also, there's part of like the time where obviously Melanie is being healed. Totally off topic, but I've been wondering what your real life job is. I work for an electronic medical records company. So, fun times. But yeah, so you go to the doctor or the hospital, the solution that they type into where your chart is and stuff. I work for the people that set up the chart and the system that they use. So I used to travel around to hospitals and implement that. Specifically, I built out lab solutions. So if you had any blood work done and stuff, I was the person who put in all of the critical ranges, the regular ranges, I built out all the tests and stuff for that. I don't do that anymore because that was a lot of traveling, and I got off the road once I had my son. So now I do something different. Although technically I don't do what my job actually is at the moment. That's a whole other barrel of monkeys because I found out today it wasn't ever supposed to be that I was taking on it all. It was supposed to be I was taking like one portion of it, and then like other people were supposed to take the other 4 portions. But I ended up getting all 5. Not mad about it at all. That's a lie. I'm very mad about it. I was not happy today. I just have to keep getting on other meetings and trying to. I'm one of those people like things need to sit with me. I need people to let me just center because I am an emotional person. So I need things to settle so I can tell you what my real emotions are. When I keep having meeting after meeting, all I do is get angrier and angrier and angrier and angrier. Yeah, I was pretty mad about that. Hope they're paying you extra. No, they're not. And that's another thing that irritates me. I'm a few chapters behind. Good to know I'll need reinforcements. Yeah, you might want to grab some wine for the 5-part update. I maintain you need a cocktail because it was a lot. So Melody goes through so much things, so very many things, in that short period of time. I love how Melanie handed the goddesses their ass. Yeah, I felt like, with the talks that we've had with Haley, Haley obviously has the ability to do that. But she was also raised to be kind of, prim and proper and with her words. Melanie was not. Melanie was always going to be like, even from the time she was very little, everyone knew, like, not everyone knew who she liked, so they didn't know if she was right. Like, she was convinced and she was right, and she was always right. But a bunch of people just thought she was a kid with a crush, so they didn't know if she would be Alexander's mate, but they knew for sure she would be a female lead warrior. So, she's always been trained as a fighter. She wasn't, the prim and proper princess. So, I will. I have to reread so much info. There was a lot going on in a short period of time for her. So yeah, I've got a lot of empathy for her because she had a lot going on, and it's not going to settle down. Like, it's just going to get to be more for her. Like, she had. I think that's one of the things. Kristen, if you don't want to know something, mute me for a second. Or anyone else who hasn't read the 5-part update. I think part of it that's really going to be, hard for her is that she was in a place where she was like, well, I do have a wolf. Maybe Jason and I can talk. Maybe we can work this out. He misses me because Kai told her that. So obviously Kai is talking about Tristan. But she doesn't know that at this point. So, it's just kind of like, it's just a lot for her because she's, she was to a point where she, like, had she not been punished so harshly about saving Kai, her plan was to talk to Jason. So, to go track him down and talk to him. So, yeah, it's just, it's like a tougher pill to swallow for her. I'm kind of glad I didn't have a cocktail. I would have ended up drunk after that. You gotta sip it. You gotta sip it. Thanks for the warning. Okay, you can probably come back now. But yeah. That's going to be a lot for her. It's going to be a lot for all of them. It's going to be a lot for all of them. So, and there was a little tidbit in what Azir said to her about magic aiding the hurt. And if the magic is still interfering, there's no way you can move past things to heal. Not that you can even initially in this situation be like, oh, okay, well then it's all good. You can't. But there are some things in the way to really start the process of healing, because obviously it will be like that is not something that gets healed easily or quickly. I can understand the angel goddess talking to her, but why would Azoni try? Because she's mated to her child. Azoni considers Alexander one of her children. So in Azoni's mind, like, Charmaine is the angel goddess, and she thought that Melanie would be nicer to her because Alexander is her child. Basically, she just wanted to be like, haha, Charmaine, she wasn't like evil to me, and that really didn't work out for her. Because as she said, she doesn't think Charmaine is as bad as them. She's still bad, just not as bad as them. I cried reading her dad yell for her and her being able to smell him again and hear her mom's voice. Yeah. I think there were lots of moments, like in the mall with Jason. That's one of those moments. But yeah, the ending where her dad is telling her to hang on and jumps down into the hole after her. Yeah, that's certainly a moment. Are the rings around Melanie's neck what keeps them from popping to her? We'll find out. Because if you didn't notice, in EJ's book, at first he couldn't even pop to her because of the promise. When Drake released them from the promise and he went to New York and he tried to pop to Melanie, he got thrown back. So he could try to pop to her after they released them from the promise. And we'll see a little bit more of that on Alexander's side, because I don't think anybody thought that he was just going to let her fall. He didn't. Well, he tried not to. And somebody else figured out a way, very quickly thinking, figured out how to get to Drake and Melanie. Yeah, I cried at that too. Yeah, there was a lot of moments where it was just like so close. Like, I feel like the moments with Jason at the mall, the moments with Kai, even Elise, where you just hear her side, where Freya's trying to encourage her to talk to her. It's so hard because they were so close for so long, and they were always meant to be close. They were always meant to be side by side. So I feel like moments like that, and then at the end, I feel like it is very sad. It was the wedding rings that were sent to her that she wears around her neck. Yes. I believe this has been mentioned. If it hasn't, well, I'm telling you. But I believe Melanie has mentioned that Chelsea sent her the rings. So, obviously, you as the reader know that's not true because Drake and Sam are wearing their wedding rings. But that's who Melanie believes sent them to her. Well, Robert was coming to him soon. Soon is a relative term. So Robert will be dealt with eventually. But yeah, there. Will we find out who Addison's mate is? Yes, we will. Will Robert get what's coming to him soon in this book or another book? That is going to be resolved in this book. This book is a bigger book, like the first three. So it's not a shorter one like Cassie or EJ's. This is one of our bigger books. So we've got a lot of things and a lot of stuff to wrap up. This book is nowhere near the end. Not by a long shot. There's a lot to cover, a lot to get to. I mean, I think even with just like the McAllisters and the stuff and the conversations they all have to go through, this book would be long. Just because, like, you know, I do try to keep things relatively. Obviously, it's a fantasy world and stuff, but I think there are some things that are real that you can't just get over what has gone on with this family. It's been going on for almost 7 years. You know, the Drake's not the type of character who's just going to be like, oh, well, now she's okay. So I'm not going to beat myself up. He's been beating himself up because he believes it's his fault she won't come home. So when he finds out, and we've discussed that, like in EJ's book, he says he believes it's his fault Melanie won't come home because she's mad at him. So, this just adds a whole other, I want to say layer, but I feel like we should just go with a whole onion full of layers for him to deal with, because this whole time she hasn't been living her dream. She has not been doing any of the things that they thought she was doing, and she was legitimately suffering. And for him, it's going to be hard because Alpha Ezra is a weird person, but it's about Drake, which is dumb because it's not. It's really about, like, when you and Melanie will point this out. When you get down to it, so Drake didn't see his daughter, and we get to their real reasons, and those will be revealed. But Melanie points out a lot of other things about their reasons, and they're dumb. Like, okay, so Drake was sad he didn't see his daughter. He was blaming himself for her not coming home. Okay, but when you look at what Melanie suffered, it was much worse. It was if she had done the thing herself. So when she was not even a part of it, she wasn't even born. So yeah, there's a lot to that. I'd love to have a fireplace. We don't use it. My parents have one too, and you just click a button. It's so much more convenient. So I use their fireplace. I knew it wasn't really the wedding rings. I thought they were fake and charmed. We'll find out. We'll find out all those answers. They may be, they may not. They may just be replicas of her parents' rings to make her believe that she had them. That is a thing that could be happening. Gotta throw you guys off on occasion. Hi, Ramonsa. This will implode the whole McAllister family. Yeah, because when you think about it, it's not just Drake and Sam, Tristan, and Jason that this will reverberate on. It's all of Drake's siblings. So you have Allison, you have... That was a strange noise my child just made. You have Allison, you have his brother, his younger brother, and then you have his two younger sisters who were closer to Melanie in age, and they were friends, not just, it's kind of weird that they're her aunts. They are. But you have Melinda and Mary Beth, and they were close. They were very close because they were close in age, and they were friends. And then you have her grandparents. Like, it's going to reverberate around their family. Will we find out the background of the person impersonating Melanie? Yes, she is that girl is back in the dungeons at Black Mountain. I believe it was Maverick or Theo. I'll have to look through my notes, but it was Maverick or Theo. I think it might have been Maverick, who was going after her in EJ's book, and he does have her, and he's with the group now to go save Melanie, whichever one it is. Is it Maverick, guys? Keep me honest. I feel like it was Maverick. But he's with the group now. So that person is in the dungeons of Black Mountain. And lots of people have things to say to her. If something is charmed and it's hidden in a sleeve or something, would a fairy be able to see it? So if something is charmed or spelled and it's not visible, it depends on the protections on the object. So, for example, Claudia's charm was not protected by anything because Hexus didn't care. If anyone knew she was charming people, it didn't really bother him. That wasn't in the stipulations. Fairies don't tend to protect it unless they're using it for themselves or somebody that they truly care about, because that's not as fun. It's kind of a little more fun to have somebody get an egg on their face for using a charm when there's someone around who can notice. So fairies don't tend to protect their charms in that way because they find it more fun their way. And if like someone doesn't specify, like you have to be specific with a fairy, because they've got to have their fun in the ways that they have their fun. So if it wasn't part of like a deal or something, they wouldn't do it out of like the goodness of their heart. It's not weird to me. One of my uncles is 2 years younger than I am. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just I always want to describe them as sisters because they're so close in age, but they're not. They are her aunts. Yeah. I think I've caught up to the questions, everybody. But yeah. So I just yeah, guys, we got some really funny like Dylan lines. He's gonna I just want to tell you because it's so funny. He's got a he's got a couple because obviously, you know, you've got, I'll phrase it this way. Peter's going to be really hurt as well. Yes, he is. And Peter himself mentioned to EJ he was getting a bad feeling that, you know, Emmeline was a big lesson for him before he became an alpha. And he was getting a very bad feeling that Melanie was going to be another. So for Peter, this is a lot because this is in his mind a failure not only as an alpha, but he's basically like Melanie's godfather. And this is his best friend's daughter. And his wife's best friend's daughter. So this is a big blow to Red Run as a whole. Even Dalton and Dakota, Cooper and Dane, they all feel bad. So, and even Nick Kyle, and his wife. I mean, it really touches all of them because they were very close as a family. They all feel bad, and that plays a part into a lot of things that go on once Melanie comes home. Because obviously at this point, she doesn't know that they know, but they know. They know a lot. They know, but they don't. So we know as the reader that she is not only in the resistance, she's the leader. But they don't know that. They just think she's a super talented member of the resistance. But no one is going to confront her about that because there's a lot of guilt and because Alexander is standing in their way. Because he believes she should tell them in the time that she wants to because that's what his mother would do. And that's how he was raised. So, but The other part of it is they want, like, they feel guilty and they want Melanie to trust them enough to tell them herself. So, there's a part of Melanie that is curious about it because obviously Nick and her grandfather know. And she's, kind of living in a bit of denial that, maybe they forgot or whatever. Um, but obviously, as Caden pointed out, the hope of the group is going to be on Caden, Micah, and Alexander and her friends. So yeah, there's just so much guilt to go around about her, and it's not even just between Red Run and Black Mountain. I mean, it's all of the allies. Alpha Theo feels horrible. Lux feels bad. Alpha Theo, the ally, not Theodore. I know I did this to myself. His name is Theodore, but they call him Theo. I did this to myself, you guys. But Alpha Theo, the one who went to visit Melanie, that's the ally, he's going to feel terrible. Lux feels terrible. Chase and Lexi feel bad because Chase is the reason he believes. He gets corrected, but he believes he's the reason they don't come to summits and that they never saw her. Even if they did come to summits, obviously she wouldn't have been allowed to attend. She probably would have, because it's Melanie and she does what she wants. And a big part of her wanted Jason to know that it was her. And to be proud of her. She really wanted to make him proud of her. So she probably would have attended. But we obviously know there are reasons they're not going to the summits, and it's not because of Chase. They're doing shady things. But yeah, Chase feels bad about it because he is still an ally. And then Lucas feels bad about it because obviously she was around their territory with Kai. And he feels bad because Emmeline feels horrible because she thought, Emmeline thought she was doing a good job of checking in on Melanie and making sure she got her wolf. Because she did get that sense that it was Alexander's mate, and obviously she knows who that is. So she thought everything was covered because Sam told everybody that she had a wolf, because that's what they were told. And so Emmeline thought it was all good, and she really kind of let it go. So obviously there's a lot of guilt there. And then, there's everybody kind of being like, obviously it's because of a compulsion. But now that they're not compelled, they're like, why in the world did we not think we needed to physically lay eyes on her when on her birthday, all the werewolves in the world went down? And that's kind of Emmeline, too. Because Emmeline is the only one who knew she got that sense. She told Lucas, so Lucas knows. But she never told Haley. So, and there are cookies running around in Blue Moon. So. Interesting. What about a spell? So smart witches would conceal their spells within an object if it wasn't seen. Smart ones. We'll see. Someone who's kind of dabbling, or someone who's not super into it, or someone who doesn't really know what they're doing, maybe like an apprentice or whatever, wouldn't. But yes. The Gamma and the Warlock in Black Path, are they on the run? We will find out. Dylan is the reason I started reading your series. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad he likes Dylan. I love Dylan. He's so funny. Will everything come out? Will we find out why her picture is hidden from everyone in Red Run? Yes. Azir kind of hinted to that in the last chapter. He hinted about a lot of things indirectly without saying a lot, but he gave out a lot of information. Will they find out about the cookies? Yes. How they find out is very intriguing because annoying thing. I just deleted all of the comments. Okay, I'll come in here and look at it. Fine, be that way. But there is someone who figures it out first. And goes about it away. Does the girl that Robert is seeing get or find her mate? We will find out more about her. Are there traitors in all the packs if every pack has cookies? No. There's certainly quite possibly a few familiar faces running around the packs, but not necessarily from each one of their own. Will Dylan be the one to piece that together because of his... Will Dylan be the one to piece together that because of his parents, she was closed off from her wolf? I mean, Emlyn has already figured that out. That's why she turned to water. When it was said that Ashley Griffin and Melanie were the same person. It's because she already figured it out. So Emlyn put it together. Does Dylan know? Yes. Travis is also there and he knows. So does Lucas. So do Dale and Debbie because they're there too. The quads know too because they know the story. Finn knows as well. So, and at this point, Eric knows too because Eric knows about it. So, yeah, because Lucas and Eric have talked about it. So Eric knows too. It's not a secret. I think all the alphas know because that was something that, they were all kind of on the lookout for, that they knew that the Bishop siblings were looking into. So all the alphas are aware of how this happened. All right, Guitar Master. I don't know why you're here. But cool. You do you, dude. I want to hug all the characters and then smack some of them upside the head while saying, "What's wrong with you?" Which ones? I feel like Buck's a good one for that. We're kind of seeing his character make a big turn for him. That was a big moment, actually jumping into the fray. Obviously, we know that from Caden's book when he was going to let bad things happen to his own sister. So, he's turned a corner. He's one of the ones you just want to slap because it's like, really? Did you have to go through something horrible for you to figure out that, like, life shouldn't be this way? But he is trying. So we give him that. Are other people going to give him that? Maybe not. There might be a group of people not particularly happy with him. But yeah, and I think, it's just like communication. Communication is a theme in a lot of these books. They do get better, but I feel like it's real life that there are just things that they fall through the cracks of communication. It just reminds you that you need to communicate. So, yes, him and the men not listening to their mates when they say something isn't right. Which men, what mates? Because if you mean Blackpath, there are reasons that they don't listen to them. Is Gamma Booker the one that spelled Alpha Davis? And why? If you mean Alpha Edward Davis, Booker is not a warlock. So Booker cannot spell anybody. He can know about it, but he can't actually do it. But Melanie is not often like totally off the nose and wrong. And she did say they should find it weird that he wasn't around. And she's right. They should find that weird. And the pack as a whole should find it weird that the alpha, who literally hides in his office when people come to their pack, is now like, I'm going to kill a baby. Like, you can't kill a rogue. And that's your job. You can't even like hunt hunters. You give pack members to them instead of hunting them like you're supposed to. You can't defend your pack when other warriors and other packs attack. But you're gonna hold a baby hostage when all you had to do was tell her you wanted to punish her. That doesn't make sense. It shouldn't make sense because it doesn't. I'm excited for Alexander's wings. I have seen a lot of theories that they're coming. They are coming, but they are not coming for this. So I will just tell you that right here and now. That's not how he gets them. As I said, we see him get them in a way we haven't exactly seen before. So we've seen it in reality, we've seen it in an illusion, but his come in a different way. So yeah, this is not how he gets his wings. It's all because of the cookies. Oh, does Elise forgive herself for not mentioning the cleaning smell and saying something? Her and Melanie have a conversation about that. Because obviously they might have thought it was weird, but they were compelled. Like, they were compelled before, like Red Run people were compelled before the group as a whole were compelled, because to the group as a whole, it's not weird that she would go off and dance. And obviously Elise didn't live there anymore, so she wasn't compelled. But yeah, Elise and Melanie talk about that. So Stephanie's husband is the warlock who spelled Alpha Davis. We will find out. Why does Edward try to alpha order Melanie if he knows she's not part of the pack? So technically, an alpha command should work if you are a strong alpha. Like, Eric could alpha command people in Blue Moon and other packs. And alpha should be able to use his command on people who are not of alpha blood. So okay. We will give ourselves a couple more minutes and then we will wrap up. But yeah, most alphas wouldn't do it to someone outside of their pack. But they should be able to. Because they are still an alpha, and someone who is not an alpha, they should be able to do it too. So part of it is he keeps trying because he doesn't understand why he can't do it. Will Katie's kids show up to this fight? I know one is. So 2 of them will show up. The one that was helping Spencer will be there. He's going to get called because he knows how to take down what's around Punishment Field because he got into the pack. So he already knows how to do it. Corbin is also around. Corbin's already with the group because he was with Caden. White Wolf is going to unleash a whole lot of ish when the time comes. We don't know there is more to it than Melanie sees one in visions. That's all we know at the moment. So that's what we know. Melanie sees one in visions. That doesn't necessarily mean much. Oh, it is so hard being in my brain sometimes. Okay. A couple more minutes. Any last minute questions, or shall we wrap? I've reached the end of my Sprite. Sad. Okay. We'll go ahead and wrap. Thanks for getting on here and chatting with me. It makes my day better. Couldn't end on the horrible note my work day ended on. So, I will talk to you guys later. Really can't wait for Alexander's chapter inside to come out. Because obviously we're going to go through, we're going to get our Dylan lines. A lot of Dylan's lines happen after Melanie is awake and aware. Yeah, obviously has some before. But we're obviously going to go past that point. So get past that point, guys. But good night, everybody. We will chat later. Thanks for joining me.